when a beekeeper comes and examines the colony of bees, in effect what you're doing is taking the roof off their house, and you're sort of in effect rearranging the furniture, which is would certainly upset us as human beings, and it definitely upsets the bees. Bees were in the wild used to wildfires in the forest, and that smoke that was produced instilled the instinct to swarm off. And before they swarmed off, they would need to take some stores with them, so they would gorge themselves with their honey stores. So us providing smoke dupes them into thinking that there is a wildfire and that they need to gorge themselves on some honey, which calms them down and takes their mind off somebody coming in and manipulating them. I think a beekeeper has an important role in being a guardian of their colonies of bees.
Around 2006, there were lots of stories beginning to be printed in some of the broadsheet papers, and one of the headline stories was we'd have 5 years left on Earth if bees were to die, and there had been this really significant year where there'd been loads and loads of bee losses. I started a research project which led me into delving really deeply into the bibliography of bees and the poetics of bees, and to try and reflect something of that in my work. A lot of cities across the world have got bees on their roofs, and so I started to think about making artworks that would perhaps sort of signpost where these lovely green roofs are and where the beehives might be in cities, but at sort of street level. So the idea is almost to make the invisible visible. They are a celebration of the sort of biodiverse habitats and they're basically collections of all of the most important plants to bees across the seasons.
They're incredibly important for pollinating plants. For farmers, it's incredibly important that crops are pollinated, so that they have a big role in that way, that no other insect can really take over and do that effectively.
If the very subtle choreography between plant and pollinator is disturbed in some way, usually through climate war, then obviously those bees are unable to thrive, and it's incredibly important that the environment is good for bees, and if it's not, it's also not very good for humans. If we ignore that bees are in trouble, and it's at our peril.